on Yackin Wit Yoni, we're going to recap NFL playoff and NBA weekend, as well as preview Bulls Cavs. That's all right now on Yackin Wit Yoni. Welcome to this January the 7th edition of Yackin Wit Yoni. I am Ryan Yanishadis. This is pretty much going to be our winter man cave and probably our summer one as well. So glad you guys could join us, and you'll be formally mostly seeing us from normally our Friday man cave, going to be mainly our everyday man cave from now on. Hope everyone had a great weekend, a lot of stuff to get to. Let's kick it off. Recapping Packers-Vikings from Saturday night. We'll start that off because that's the most local one, and the Packers win 24-10 over the Vikings. Let's go to the bullet points. First one, Webb can't make passes. It just seems like every time Joe Webb, and for you the ones that know, usually Christian Ponder, their starter, was ruled out hours before the game due to an injury. Joe Webb came in, and all his passes were short. They're hitting the ground. Just a rough way to start that out. Then, able to stop AP. It seems like they were able to stop AP a lot more than they were able to do in Minnesota, which means I think they put a little bit more heart in this game because this one means everything to them and going into the playoffs. So, Clay Matthews, and it just seems like everyone was able to stop AP. He had a couple of runs, but nothing memorable like you're used to seeing from Adrian Peterson. And then finally, healthy pack is a dangerous pack. This team is finally healthy. They're getting their things done with the running and then the great passing by Aaron Rodgers. So nonetheless, a healthy Packer team is going to be dangerous going into next week. They will face the San Francisco 49ers, but they do beat the Vikings. The Vikings team that wasn't as good as they could have been because they weren't with their quarterback, so they weren't a playoff quality team, if you ask me. So the Packers win 24-10. Recapping the rest of the playoff weekend in a minute. We're on Facebook. You can like us, message us, and much more. That is Yackin Wit Yoni on Facebook. Now let's recap NBA weekend. Kick it off Friday night. Personally, this one really shocked me. The Bulls beat the Heat 96-89. I picked the Heat in that one. Let's go to the bullet points. Big guys dominate. It seems like Joakim Noah, Carlos Boozer, the way they stepped up, the way they played that game was unbelievable. They blew me away. It was the way Carlos Boozer was able to get offensive boards, defensive boards, and just being able to make the shots he was able to. He was 6 for his first 6, and then Joakim Noah he gets some momentum, and again, he was out for that Orlando game, had a little bit more energy, still recovering from the flu. Just an unbelievable job by the Bulls big guys, and also Taj Gibson as well. Unbelievable. Then finally, Bulls outplay Heat. It seems like everything that they did, they were outplaying them on the boards. They were making more shots. I think the Heat overlook a lot of their teams, and they overlooked this Bulls team without Derrick Rose. That was a mistake. They learned that in a 3-game losing streak. The Heat did snap that last night against Washington. But the Bulls able to really show the Miami Heat that they're for real, and they outplayed them last night. And then finally, Sunshine State Booze Cruise. Like I was saying, the big guys did well. Carlos Boozer was able to do it in Orlando, and he did an unbelievable job as well in Miami. Just a great job. Again, he hasn't been the Carlos Boozer from the Utah Jazz, but what a job and what a thing he's been able to pull off. At least in this, hopefully this is a sign of things to come for Carlos Boozer. Great job by him. Again, the Bulls win 96-89. Also on Friday, Rockets beat the Bucks 115-101. Strong start, weak finish. Strong start for the Bucks. They were nailing their shots. Mike Dunleavy, Brandon Jennings, Monte Ellis, the shooters that need to really do it, were able to nail their shots early, and they were able to catch the Rockets early. But again, weak finishes. They lost by 14 points. They were up by almost as many as 10. So that's what I mean by that. Second one, Delfino returns. Carlos Delfino last year was a Milwaukee Buck, and he had almost 5 threes. He was unbelievable the way he was shooting. Again, you always have a little bit of emphasis when you come back and face your former team. Steven Jackson didn't do that against the Bucks last week, but he was able to come in there. He was a bench guy. An unbelievable job by Carlos Delfino. Pretty much saying, for guys like that, it don't really matter. They're used to going from team to team, but they did a great job nonetheless to Carlos Delfino. And finally, too many turnovers. The turnovers were costly for the Bucks, and that's what hurt them, and they were able to nail it between Jeremy Lin and James Harden and former Bull Omer Sheik. Just a great job by that team overall. Everyone's saying they can be one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. They don't have a star, but James Harden is trying to take this team onto his back. He's been able to do that. Great job by him. And they were able to do it. Also, Jeremy Lin split open, and then when he got about 5 stitches, went head-to-head with Larry Sanders. But nonetheless, the Bucks lose a tough one, 115-101. Then finally, Saturday night, in Indiana, Pacers beat the Bucks 95-80. That moves the Bucks to a 4-game losing streak. Can't we all get along? It seems like there are some tussles between Stevenson and Monte Ellis. These two teams have had in the past. They showed on the broadcast that these two teams have had troubles getting along. They've had some fights and brawls before. I wouldn't say brawls, but tussles a little bit, arguments. But it continued in that game as well. Bad shooting in the third quarter for the Bucks. That's what won this game for the Indiana Pacers. They were able to make their shots between Tyler Hansbrough and Paul George and Roy Hibbert. They were all making their shots, but also because they were capitalizing on how bad the Bucks were doing in that third quarter. They nailed their shots and they got the W. And finally, Pacers still not healthy. Pacers are playing very good. They've won now 6 in a row at the Bankers Life Fieldhouse. They're home in Indianapolis. They don't have Danny Granger back yet. It may take a couple games when he gets back to get back in the group, but when you're not 100% healthy and you're still playing the way that the Pacers are, they're going to be a dangerous threat. And again, you got the 3 teams in that Northern Division. You got the Bulls, the Pacers, the Bucks. They're going to battle. Pacers and Bulls were supposed to meet before they couldn't. Bulls and Bucks meet on Wednesday. So the Bucks right now really struggling, but it should be interesting to see how that plans out. But I think all 3 teams are going to be exciting. I think the Bucks, hopefully they're not starting their fade off. I was confident in this team. Usually they do it every year. Hopefully they don't fade off this year. It'd be a disappointment. But they lose that one of a final of 95-80. So that the Bulls win on Friday. Bucks lose Friday and Saturday. Where's the one place to watch all Yackin Wit Yoni programming? It is our home on YouTube. You can watch all episodes every week. That's Yackin Wit Yoni on YouTube. Okay, now it is time for NFL playoff recap. I'm just going to run through the scores real quick of the games that did happen. That weren't local. Saturday afternoon, Texans beat the Bengals 19-13. Either team could have won this game. It was the Texans that come out. They didn't blow anyone away by the way they played. The Bengals were in it pretty much the whole game. Sunday, Ravens beat the Colts 24-9. I did have the Colts advancing in that, so I do lose that. Great job by Ray Lewis, his last game at home. The introductions from being on the offense for the final play, doing his dance. Kudos to all them and the CBS to be able to show all that, and they were really in track with that, so great job to see Ray Lewis. And Seahawks beat the Redskins 24-14. Tough for Robert RG3 as he went out in the fourth quarter with his knee. He just didn't seem like he had it. That's the first game I ever got the chance to watch him, and it was kind of a bummer because I didn't really get to see the real RG3, so hopefully I will. But unbelievable job by Russell Wilson. I had the Seahawks advancing as well. All the teams that I think are going to advance to the championship weekend are in division weekend, and we'll be previewing these division weekend on Friday. But again, that is how it went down over the weekend. It's also with a Packer win. Yackin Wit Yoni is on top of it when it comes to social media. That includes Twitter, where you can get active with the show. So don't forget to follow Yackin Wit Yoni on Twitter. That is Yackin Wit Yoni 1. We have to put all our shows on there as well. Now it's time to preview the game tonight. That'll be Bulls-Cavs from the United Center. Bulls off that momentum win. I was talking to my dad about this yesterday, or maybe even today. I think it was yesterday. That this Bulls team, they have a high momentum win like this, and now they'll have a team like the Cavs come in, and I think the Bulls may have trouble with that because the Bulls do play good basketball. But the thing is, they play it at home, but then this is like how they were the Charlotte Bobcats. They beat the New York Knicks, and then they go on and lose to the Bobcats, but I don't think they were just same games. But that's what the problem is. The Bulls haven't been, because you get all these kudos. Yeah, they beat the Heat, but then they face the Cavaliers, and then they're going to struggle. That's what you don't want. You want hopefully they can dominate. Hopefully they get that momentum from that game in Miami can come. But they're home all week. They have 3 games: Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. They are home. So I think this team is in good position, a good week of games. I think they should look good. I think Boozer's right now playing unbelievable. They need him Noah to step up. As well, Derrick Rose now traveling with the team. So, I mean, all this happened in the Bulls. A lot of positives coming into this. So, great job. Hopefully the Bulls will be able to do it. For the Cavs, you have to watch out for Kyrie Irving. He's still been the guy. You have to watch for him from beyond the arc. You have to watch for him anything. And I think he's the guy you have to look out for. They have young guys in that team. They also got Anderson Varejao. Not 100% sure if he's going to be playing or not. But still a good young team nonetheless. You can't overlook them. And we'll see what the Bulls can do. That game will be on at 7 o'clock on WGN. That should be a good one. So you have the official website of Yackin Wit Yoni, where you can view promo flyers, Katie's blog, Yackin merchandise, and much more. Go to yackinwityoni.weebly.com. Katie's Corner is going to be one more week off. She did not have any information available. That was on her decision to not be on this week. She says she'll be back next week for Katie's Corner and Storytime with Honey. So hopefully next week she'll be back, and that's sort of her. So I apologize to the people that watch the show for her. She'll be back, as far as I know, next week. Also, on a positive note, the Chicago Blackhawks are back. They have reached a 10-year tentative agreement. Still no time of when we're going to be when the season will start, but we will be breaking down Blackhawk hockey. I will admit I'm not a hockey knowledge guy at all. I follow the Blackhawks. I'll do my best at that. I won't be able to talk in depth about hockey, but I will give you final scores and my thoughts on games when they come. But happy to see hockey back. We'll talk about that more. Now it's time for predictions. And of course, over the weekend I was 2-0. I went 1-3 over the rest, so I'm 3-3. Start a new week. Bulls Cavs tonight from the United Center. I think it's still going to be Bulls. I think the Bulls. I don't think they should have another one of them games where they overlook the team. They should play very well. So let's say Bulls over Cavs. Preview for Tuesday. We're going to recap Bulls Cavs as well as preview Bucks Suns tomorrow night from Milwaukee. Also a new edition of True or False and our monthly edition of Yanni on the Town, where we go see an up and coming band, two guys, in Lily Lake. So that's all tomorrow on Yackin Wit Yoni. We'll be back here in Yanni's Man Cave. That'll wrap it up here for this January the 7th edition of Yackin Wit Yoni. I am Ryan Yadashada saying this is, and forever will be, one guy, one show, nuff said!